Hey guys, it's Greg. So I wanted to do a video on the topic of spirituality because it's something that I've been intrigued by, interested in since around about the end of 2011. And it's something that's interested me because just kind of got deep into it. It was just something that it kind of came up by accident. I was searching on YouTube. I used to have a one-bedroom flat in Canterbury some years ago, and so back in late 2011, I was looking up. I was quite into Russell Brand at the time, and I was looking up his show. I think it was One Leicester Square, where he did interviews with people that were really good actually. And I was looking up different interviews from that. And the topic of, I can't remember which one it was, but I know he mentioned the topic of transcendental meditation and that he'd gotten into that. And it kind of piqued my interest. It kind of made me think, actually, I wouldn't mind finding out more about that. And then I looked up more related to him and meditation and saw he'd done a speech for the David Lynch Foundation. And obviously being a Lynch fan as well, that kind of made me more interested. So I checked that out, and then after I'd watched that, I put in transcendental meditation into YouTube in the search bar, and I found a guy that just kind of changed my mindset forever, and that was a guy called Lincoln Gagar. He has a channel on YouTube called Channel Higher Self, and he does guided meditations. He does, well, channeled kind of speeches from what he calls the higher self, which is the universal consciousness. Yeah, and it's just kind of an interesting concept because I mean, I've checked out a few different philosophies in my time, but this one really hit home. And it's difficult to say that I'm like immersed in it now, because I wouldn't say I am necessarily as much maybe as I was back then. I really dove deep into it. But through watching his videos, I spent a lot of time listening to his guided meditations and about the higher self. And it just really opened up my mind to the concept of this kind of universal consciousness that we can all connect to. And, you know, thoughts like we're all one consciousness experiencing each other like individuated versions of one whole and all this. And it was just an interesting concept to me. And yeah, I talk to people about it that already seem interested in it. When I bump into someone, it doesn't really come up very naturally in conversation a lot of the time. You know, like, are you interested into spirituality? It's not, we're so kind of interested in the sort of, well, our day-to-day language really talks more about the mundane sort of stuff of everyday life when we talk to each other. We don't really normally get into deeper concepts like spirituality and, you know, what is life all about and things like that. We don't always think like that. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a little video on it just in case anything interesting came out of me talking about it, which it may or may not. But yeah, just the idea that there's like, from what I've learned, from what I've looked into with it, it's the idea that there's this one original source that we emanate from, but that we also are. Like, the idea that we are the container and everything within the container. And this idea of the form, which is everything we see, including the people and things around us, the environment and our body. That's the things within the container. And then the container itself is like the awareness, like the spiritual awareness, like where we come from, where we home in from, I've heard it described as where we breathe ourselves into this reality, breathe ourselves into this life. And like, one of the concepts obviously is meditation. I mean, because I call it guided meditation is what I listen to, because that's what they're referred to as. But I mean, meditation itself can literally just be sitting and breathing and, you know, like in a purposeful way. You don't have to hear any words or anything, but obviously with a guided meditation or a teaching from the higher self, it's slightly different. It's channeled messages. But yeah, it's just something that kind of I don't know, I've been into it for a little while, and more recently I've been delving back into some of his stuff, and I've listened to some of his more recent posts, particularly Lincoln Gagar's stuff. I've checked out other people on YouTube as well, but he's always one I come back to. I just find his stuff really deep, and really, it just like gets right to the core of it, like with just everything else filtered out. He just seems to have a like natural gift for just channeling this like consciousness. But yeah, but no, other things I was going to say that I've read in the past. I got through finding him, I got really into Sanaya Roman's books. She's got a book here, Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self. If you're interested in this kind of thing, that's well worth checking out. And her book, Soul Love, as well, was really cool. It's been a while since I've read these actually, but I've read all of her stuff actually, and it's all really interesting stuff. I actually did a hip-hop concept album back in 2015 based on what I learned in Soul Love, called Soul Love as well. And yeah, I was really really obviously immersed in the stuff for a few years, and then it just all came pouring out into this one album. But that's up on it's on this YouTube channel actually. You can check it out if you're interested, and it's also on Audio Mac and SoundCloud. But oh no, it's not on SoundCloud anymore actually, because I had some issues with my SoundCloud. But yeah, so that's one branch that I checked out. Also, another heavy hitter in the field of spirituality, and I guess what they call the New Age, is Eckhart Tolle. I'd never know whether to call him Eckhart Tolle or Eckhart Tolle. I've heard it pronounced both ways. But this book, A New Earth, Create a Better Life, my sister bought me this for Christmas a few Christmases back, and it blew my mind, man. I've read this and Power of Now that he did, and yeah, I mean, this just literally, if you want to get into spirituality or the idea of New Age concepts, read this and it'll just open you up, man. You'll just, it's hard not to get it when you read it in such a well, not simple, but in an easy to digest format, like the way he puts it. It will still, you know, make your head kind of like get around it a little bit, but it's well worth looking into if it's something that kind of piques your curiosity. But no, I mean, more recently, kind of, it's difficult because it's all kind of lumped under New Age, although sometimes you hear the God consciousness referred to, or the idea of that God is the universe. And that's quite different from, say, Christian theology, which is actually something I've kind of been checking out more recently in the last couple of years, just to kind of increase my own awareness of kind of what's out there and what is believed and things like that. Because they believe, you know, in God as a creator, but as a, you know, there's this God being, and we are separate from that, and we must appease that. That's kind of what Christian people believe, and, you know, and that we want to do right by that God. I'm not saying that's wrong necessarily. I've been quite interested in the theology of Christianity in the last couple of years, but it differs from the Eastern theology, which is more kind of Buddhist in nature, but there's other religions that kind of follow this as well. The idea that God is everything and we are all God and we are one and we're all connected. And that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it as well. I mean, that's kind of more where I have been coming from. Although one person I will mention is Doreen Virtue. And I was really into her stuff for a while as well. I've got a few of her books. That one there, Chakra Clearing, that really kind of was interesting, learning about the chakras and like sort of clearing your chakras and all this. And I will mention, obviously having mentioned her name, that she no longer believes in any of the stuff she used to promote. She's now full on like Christian, like devout. I'm not sure what it's referred to as, whether it's Orthodox or just or Catholic, or I think she's just straight up Christian. But she has basically denounced the New Age, and that's fair enough. You know, that's the way she wants to come at it, and believes that, you know, she was deceived in the past, and, you know, wants to come at it from a different angle, and thinks that there's only one true way, and that's to read the Bible and take the Bible as complete gospel. Everything that's in it, that's all you need to know. And I mean, that's one way of looking at the world. That's the way a lot of people are starting to go. And well, from some of the people that I've followed, I mean, there's a guy, Roosh, that I've followed on and off for years, from back when he was in the pickup community and things like that. And more recently, he became an Orthodox Christian, you know, which was a complete 180 on his previous kind of lifestyle. So hearing from people like that, and then people I've listened to that are connected with his kind of sort of way of viewing things, and that I found on YouTube, like Jay Dyer and things like that, they're very sort of devout, like orthodox kind of Christians, and I'm interested in the ideas. The thing is, I haven't necessarily labeled myself as a Christian or as New Age or, you know, any particular label. I know there's more religions out there that I haven't really explored too much yet, but I am interested in the religions and the theologies. I'm very interested in philosophies in general, ways of viewing the world, like kind of modes of viewing the world, and the parameters that we set up for ourselves and the way that we look at the world. That interests me. So I'm more kind of I guess, a student of philosophies and theologies, I guess, but without actually, it's kind of a cop-out, but without actually labeling myself as any particular one. Sorry if you can hear my kids acting up in the background. I'm going to have to go and see what's going on with them in a minute, but I just wanted to do a little post just because I hadn't really done one about spirituality and this kind of thing in general before, and so I wanted to do a little post just to kind of put a little bit of where I'm at with it and my views about it across. But I'm kind of at a crossroads of sorts, because I still believe and hold dear a lot of these values that I've learned from, say, like Lincoln Gagarin and people like that, and who post on YouTube and do the channeling kind of meditation and the spiritual teachings, and what I've learned from that. And but at the same time, I take on board what people like, even, you know, what Doreen Virtue and people like that say, who completely denounce those kind of views and philosophies, because I think you have to look at the one and the other to get some kind of sense of what's real and what's the truth is. And that's all I think we're really ever aiming at, is the truth. We want to cut through all the noise and the you know, the crazy, just, should I go this way, should I go that way of life, and just try and home in somehow on that kind of jagged route towards the truth. And that's where I'm at still. I'm on a path, you know, kind of trying to find my way and trying to find that. And yeah, it's a long road. Sorry, you can probably hear my kids screaming in the background. I'm going to have to go down there and see what's going on soon. I don't think she's handling well, but I just wanted to do a video while I had 10 minutes to spare. And yeah, but no, I would say if any of you are interested in spirituality and sort of finding out more about that kind of stuff, I would definitely check out Lincoln Gagar's page, Channel Higher Self. I would definitely check out Eckhart Tolle. He's also on YouTube. And I would definitely recommend, for those of you that like some of what you learn in those places, to check out Sanaya Roman and her books. I don't think she has a specific presence on YouTube or anything like that, but her books are awesome. And I'm trying to think if there's any others. There's a guy I haven't checked in on in a little while. What's his page? I think it's Inner Waters Diving Deep. He's a cool guy. He's interesting philosophy, but yeah, he's someone I've checked out in the past. Also, the Dalai Lama's own page as well on YouTube. And if you're interested in like sort of Christian theology, I can recommend checking out some of Jay Dyer's videos. Some of Jordan Peterson has done some stuff where he breaks down the books of the Bible and talks about them. That's quite interesting. And Doreen Virtue herself, although I will say, if you go there, you're going to get like a lot of "don't follow the new age, I was lied to," and all this, and that's, you know, that's how she, you know, obviously feels. But yeah, it's difficult, because it's difficult to promote one thing and not the other, because I have been looking at a bit of this and a bit of that in terms of, you know, the theologies and the religious concepts, spiritual beliefs and things like that. But yeah, I didn't want to make this too long a video. I just at least wanted to broach the topic, you know, and if anyone is interested in this kind of thing, yeah, feel free to hit me up, man. You know, we can chat, we can, you know, riff about this kind of thing. I'm always interested in people's ideas and concepts, but I'm just trying to think if there's really anything to add. I'd made some notes on my app on my phone, but my laptop's not playing ball at the minute in terms of pinging it to myself to email it to myself, so I couldn't actually read my notes, so I'm just doing this from memory, really. But yeah, if I think of anything else worthwhile to say, I'll do another video. But yeah, we're coming up for the 15-minute mark there, so I think I'm going to call that it for now. But yeah, just a little introductory into kind of what I've been looking at, spirituality wise, and I guess religion, theology wise. But yeah, it's an interesting topic to me, and it's kind of another thing that I don't really get to talk about it with too many people. It's one of those things I kind of keep it close to the chest, but I thought I'd do a little video like this just for anyone who happens to see it and maybe is interested in talking about it, and to also give some people a route to find out about some of the stuff for themselves, you know, through some of the things that I mentioned. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go, guys, but I hope this has at the very least been a little bit interesting to you. It's good to do these little videos every now and again, and to check in. So yeah, that's all for now. Peace out. Thanks, guys.